All right, welcome back. Happy 4th of July. In honor of America, we'll be talking about hypertension, also known as high blood pressure. Today might be a shorter video because I didn't find it that interesting. So, hypertension comes in two ways. The first is called primary or essential hypertension, and that is the most common. About 90% of the cases of hypertension are primary. And secondary is only about 10%. So we're going to spend the majority of the time talking about primary or essential hypertension. Okay. So it's most common in people of the ages of 25 to 55 years old, so a little older. Okay. Here we have some examples of blood vessels. Okay, so this is our normal one, and here we see a blood vessel with thick walls. Okay, so that's going to increase blood pressure a little bit. Imagine a hose. If you have a hose that's just flowing normally, if you put your finger over the end, it's going to start shooting out. And that's the same way with our blood vessels. If you tighten whatever is in, it's going to go faster. It's going to have more pressure. Okay, and it's not good for our heart because it's got to do a little more work for a long period of time. Okay, and this is an example of a blood vessel that's not contracting correctly. Okay, it's probably going a little tighter than it should be. And there's a few causes for this. Starting off with age, you should do everything you can to avoid aging. There's also diabetes is another one. Stress, okay, your body kind of stimulates some things in the nervous system when you're stressed out. Okay, you get nervous, you tighten up a little bit, your blood pressure increases. So avoiding long-term stress, however that may look. And obesity, in honor of America, 4th of July. Try not to be obese like the majority of the country. Okay. Also high salt intake. So this part I found a little more interesting than the other parts. So this is a drawing of a kidney that I drew. Okay. Na+, that's salt, sodium. Okay. Our kidneys help regulate, they help kind of filter out waste, including too much sodium. So what happens when we eat tons of salt is we can't filter all of it out, which leads to more salt, more sodium in our blood, which means our blood retains more water to kind of balance it out. And more water just means more volume. So you just have more blood in your body, causing your heart to do more work. Okay, and there's a lot more science, chemistry behind all this pretty much. I'm just going over the really basic stuff. Okay, but if you want to know more about any of these things, you can do your own research. I invite you to do that. Me personally, didn't find it that interesting, but you're welcome to. Okay, yeah, so more sodium just makes your heart work harder, and that's fine, but if you're doing that for years and years, it's going to be really hard on your heart. And for the secondary hypertension, we're just going to name them. I'm not going to go into them whatsoever. You're welcome to do that. So there's the renovascular hypertension, okay, endocrine, neurological, aortic, little people, again, you're going to have to find out about that on your own, substances like drugs and alcohol, and sleep apnea, okay? So that's it. That's all we're going to learn about hypertension, high blood pressure today. The number one way to avoid unhealthiness is, okay, this is horrible.